Hi, thank you for joining me. We're going to do a little core sequence, so feel free to do this on its own or add on to other practices. So we'll be on our backs. So you want to come on down, get comfortable, find a neutral pelvis, let your feet plant, and take a couple deep breaths, bringing yourself into this time, into this space. And then start to notice the belly. So perhaps noticing how with the breath, the belly will move without us even trying to do anything, right? So as we inhale, we might feel that expansion of the belly pressing into our hands. And as we exhale, there's a little contraction of the lower abdomen or of the belly without any effort, right? It's just what's naturally happening as the breath moves in, the belly expands. As the breath moves out, there's a drawing inward, a slight contraction. We're going to start to add some work and some effort. So our feet are planted on the floor about hip or pelvis distance apart, where we have a neutral pelvis. We're going to bring the palms of the hands to touch in a prayer position and reach them out in front of us. So for this first round, think about reaching your hands through your knees. And we're letting the head and shoulders lift off the floor. And the belly is drawing in. So we're inhaling as we release, exhaling as we come into that crunch. Your range of motion is going to be determined by where you are, right? So as you start out, you might have a really little range of motion, and that's fine. As you get stronger, you might feel yourself lifting a little bit further. So we're not forcing this, being mindful to keep thinking about drawing the belly in, and the movement is really happening from the core. So not straining in the neck. One more. And release and rest. Maybe turn your head a little side to side. So for this second round, stay with that, or maybe you stay in a more lifted position so you don't return all the way down to the floor. So palms to touch between the legs. We lift up and we crunch so we don't lower all the way. Or if we tried it, then we do lower all the way, right? So allow yourself the freedom to do what you need to do today. And rest and breathe. And we'll do one more round. So you choose if you want to do the first level or the second level or a combination of them, meeting yourself where you are. So palms together, take a breath in, and as you exhale, come into that crunch. Think about your hands coming between the knees. And rest. Breathe. So the next one is going to be a side reach. So we're going to target a little bit of the obliques, so the side body abdominal muscles. So you have your feet still hip or pelvis distance apart, knees towards the sky, hands by your side. We're going to think about reaching our fingers towards our left hand towards our left foot, coming back, right towards the right. So we're side and side. And the only variation here is your range of motion. So you might be touching your heel, you might be touching your toes, or maybe not quite reaching the foot. And that also has to do with body proportions, right? So taking your time, moving side to side. And center and rest. And we'll do that again. So coming into that neutral position, hands by your side, and we crunch to the side. So continue to think about keeping the belly in as you crunch side to side. This is a newer movement to you. You might be feeling some strain in the neck. So we'll just be mindful of that. Our neck will get stronger. So if you need to rest, almost done with this round, and rest, let your neck kind of release side to side. So anything, obviously, where we are lifting into a crunch position and we're lifting our head up off the floor is going to work the neck a little bit. So being mindful of what you have going on in your neck. One more round there. So take a nice breath in, let it go, hands by your side, and we crunch side to side. And one more each side. And rest. Breathe. One more for this short sequence. So we're going to stack the knees over the hips, lower belly, starting to work here. And we're going to think about lifting our bottoms off of the floor. So we're just lifting. And we might barely get off of the floor, that's fine, but letting the work really come from the core. It's a little bit of a reverse crunch. One more. And rest. You can hug the knees in or plant the feet on the floor as you rest. Notice how that felt, right? Did you get that movement? Did you feel like it was uncontrolled coming from the core, or were you just kind of wiggling all around? For the next round, we can either stay where we were or legs straight up to the sky, and now we lift and lift. So again, core is helping us to do that movement. If we try it, we can always go back to bent knees. So taking your time. And rest. Hug the knees in, plant the feet on the floor, and rest. We've got one more round. So you choose maybe the first one or the second one or a combination of, right? So stocking the knees over the hips or extending the feet to the sky. And we lift our butts, press either our feet or our knees towards the sky. And last one, hug the knees in. If this is the only thing that you're doing, maybe go ahead and come into a nice little Shavasana lying on your back. You can take a whole body stretch actually before you do that. And just lengthen out your core, maybe reach a little left and right. And then let yourself settle into that Shavasana. If you are moving on to do something else, you can go ahead and get there. But otherwise, we're lying down, closing our eyes, and letting that work assimilate in our bodies. Bringing that awareness, that heat, that fire from our core practice into our daily lives. We are capable. We are strong. And rest here for as long as you have time for. Namaste.